Brought to you by Penguin.
The Book of Alchemy, A Creative Practice for an Inspired Life, by Suleika Jaouad. Read by Suleika Jaouad, Vidish Athavale, Fabian Cook Jr., Sean Patrick Hopkins, Emma Ladji, Karen Murray, Soneela Nankani, Nikki Patel, Maggie-Meg Reed, and Gail Shalan.
Note to listeners, this audiobook contains a downloadable PDF that lists the writers who contributed to this collection. For John, who infuses creativity into every corner of life. Live the questions now. Perhaps then, someday far in the future, you will gradually, without even noticing it, live your way into the answer. Rainer Maria Rilke. Introduction. The Way In. I've kept a journal for as long as I can remember. It has been the keeper of my memories and yearnings. I've used it to mark the biggest thresholds, to ride the roughest waves, to traverse the liminal space between no longer and not yet. As a teenager, I journaled through various heartbreaks and growing pains, and I journaled in the days leading up to momentous anxiety-provoking transitions, like going off to college and finding my way after graduation. The through line in all of these journal entries was an orientation toward the future, toying with the question, what am I going to do with my life? I filled pages with endless permutations and possibilities, a sliding doors-esque exercise in what all my alternate lives could look like. Who I'd wake up next to, whether I'd be a lawyer or a novelist, whether I'd raise human children or canine ones, and everything in between. Journaling went from a favorite pastime to a lifeline when I was diagnosed with leukemia at age 22. Though I knew my diagnosis was grave, my doctors told me my chance of long-term survival was only 35%. I approached treatment with youthful naivete. I expected a short stay in the kingdom of the sick. A few weeks of chemo in the hospital, followed by a bone marrow transplant, then back to life as I knew it. Into the cancer unit, I brought knitting needles and yarn with the goal of becoming an expert scarf maker by the time I was discharged. Perhaps even more delusionally, I packed a thick stack of tomes like War and Peace, cheerfully telling my parents I planned to use my time there to read through the entire Western canon. I had always been ambitious, and I thought I could maintain my pre-diagnosis level of productivity. But time and calamity have a way of dispelling our illusions, and by the end of the summer, all of mine were gone. After weeks locked in isolation in a hospital room, poked and prodded with needles and endless questions, suffering the brutal side effects of chemo, I learned that the standard treatment was not working. Far from being eradicated, the leukemic blasts in my bloodstream had more than doubled. I was going into bone marrow failure, and my only option was a phase 2 clinical trial. An experimental trial that had not yet been proven safe or effective meant terrifying uncertainty at a time when I desperately wanted the confidence of a cure. Over the next few months, the new chemo drugs went to work, slowly and effectively nuking the leukemia, paving the way for the transplant, all the while taking more of a toll than I ever could have imagined. By that point, I had spent the better part of a year in and out of the hospital for treatment and also for dangerous complications ranging from neutropenic fevers to sepsis. My immune system was non-existent, and I wasn't allowed to go to restaurants or movie theaters or any other crowded public spaces. Whenever I stepped out the door, I had to wear gloves and a mask. My doctors warned me that something as basic as a cold could be lethal. Being confined to a hospital bed, unable to do anything unassisted, even things as
Sample complete. Ready to continue?